It's only very recently, say in the last 20 years, that we've been willing to accept that biology may drive our destiny, especially in the area as important as love. But evolutionary psychology, the youngest of the love sciences, says that's exactly why we want what we want. According to scientists like David Buss, our deepest desires have been hardwired into the design of the human mind over hundreds of thousands of years. So when these scientists say there's a reason that men want women, but women want relationships, it's not just Mars and Venus, it's Charles Darwin.
I view Charles Darwin as the very first evolutionary psychologist. In fact, Darwin said in 1859 in Origin of the Species that at the end of Origin, he said, in the future, psychology will be based on a new foundation, and that foundation will be evolution by natural selection.
The law of natural selection, inspired by these inhabitants of the Galapagos Islands, may be the brutal basis for a different kind of dating rules. That is, the more successful maters will be the ones to pass on their genes. So if each generation is the product of the best maters, life boils down to the survival of the sexiest. That's fine for these animals, but it took about 100 years for scientists to get comfortable with applying this theory to the development of the human mind.
If the big moving force in the animal world is reproduction, spread of genes, and if we went through evolution also, it is really very difficult to comprehend that the human mind was not affected by evolution, but the body was.
Dev Singh is an evolutionary psychologist at the University of Texas.
So what evolutionary psychology basically does is to say, what are the mental designs and how do they get expressed?
One way scientists thought the designs might be expressed was mate choice. In 1989, David Buss published a survey of 37 different cultures and found that indeed there were some universals in human mating. Strong evidence of universals in the design of the human mind.
What we found is that women placed a greater premium on resources and, perhaps more important, the qualities in a man that lead to resources over time. So these are things like a man's ambition. Women don't like to marry slackers. They like a guy with goals, with drive, with high social status, a guy who's intelligent, a guy who is somewhat older than they are. Men placed a greater premium on physical attractiveness, and that was however it was worded, good looks, physical appearance, physical attractiveness, as well as youth. Basically, young women are more fertile than older women, and physical attractiveness, as evolutionary psychologists have discovered, contains a set of cues that are correlated with a woman's fertility status.
The desires of men and women are different because, according to theory, their agendas are different. Men simply have to impregnate a fertile woman to have a child, while a woman puts herself and her child at great risk if she doesn't choose a man who'll stick around and help her raise it.
What happens is that we become descendants of those mothers who chose to marry wisely. Okay? Those who chose unwisely are not our ancestors.
Your body never really forgets that this is what sex is all about.